mi amor, welcome back to my channel. It's Sanaa here and we're back with another video. Y'all, I know it's been a minute since the last video and these episodes came out 2 days ago, but when I tell you it took me those 2 days to actually muster up the energy and then sit there and watch all 4 episodes 5 through 8, and then to record this video and then to edit this video and then to upload this video. The worst part was actually watching it. You would think, oh, you don't want to sit there and record, you don't want to sit there and edit. Especially after my last video, I had to edit it twice because I accidentally pressed the delete button. But no, it was actually sitting there and watching them couples and listening to that awful dubbing and the highest speed being 1.5x. That was the hard part. But I'm here now because I literally just finished the episode like 5 minutes ago and it was in 1.5x speed. The last episodes was just everyone meeting, everyone getting engaged, everybody was cute. I had some predictions and I really can't remember what they were. Actually, I think my predictions were basically Henna, because that's his name, I thought it was Hanan, but Henna and Agatha, she's gonna be jealous. Karen and Valmir is just a red flag, walking red flag. Mena and Maria, I think I said that she talks a lot, so he's gonna have to handle that, or it's gonna not go well. I think Bianca and Jarvis. Okay, you know what? I don't know what the predictions was, but if you want to know, then I'll link the first part in the description box below, and we're gonna see if my predictions came true. So in the preview last episode, we heard Karen saying, oh yeah, sometimes you pick your first choice, sometimes you pick your first runner-up, and sometimes and sometimes you pick your first leftover. And I was just thinking, as long as she know, because baby, you didn't think I was gonna say no, it's not like you're not the first runner-up, you're not the first leftover. Like you are. We all know it, we all saw it. But this makes Valmir mad, which I guess will make me mad too, but probably it makes you mad because you know she's right, and that's the worst part, because it makes you look like a bad person. Not because, oh my girl, she's so insecure, like I don't want her to feel like that, because if that was the case you wouldn't be mad, you would be like empathetic. But no, you're angry because it makes you look like the bad person because you know she's right. And Karen really thought she was doing something by saying, well, if you think about it, Varmil was my runner-up. Now girl, let's be for real. You dropped Idolu the second Varmil was looking in your direction. The millisecond even. So don't even play. He was not your runner-up. Like, I swear Love is Blind Brazil throws so many more get-togethers and functions and parties than Love is Blind USA, because Love is Blind, they was just in the apartment like fighting, but here they out in the streets in the clubs fighting, and it's like, keep that in your apartment. Because they had a party, like a pool party, and Henna and Agatha are like hanging out, and they're like, Henna, come here. And then they're like, Agatha she's controlling him, she keeps him trapped, she doesn't let him leave, blah blah. And I'm like, that man is in love. Like, even in his confessional where he could say anything he wants to say, minus the fact that it's gonna be on reality television, but you know, virtually anything he can want to say, and he's like, no, like I really want to just spend all my time with Agatha, like I see them all the time, I just want to be with her. And it's like, he's happy, leave him alone, just because y'all don't like y'all fiancés, and I can tell. There's kind of like, I feel like with every reality TV show, there's kind of something that they're trying to push onto the viewers, is like an agenda that they want to like push out there. For this one, with Agatha and Henna, it's that Agatha's really jealous. He hadn't said anything about it. He just was like, yeah, I love my woman, blah, blah, blah. I want to be with her all the time, as he should. And she was like, yeah, I'm not jealous per se, I'm just very observant. So I feel like they're trying to push an agenda, and she's supposed to be playing the jealous type. It's the last night, so all the couples are sitting and talking or whatever, and Henna and Agatha are talking, and she was just this close to giving Valmir a chance, but then she was like, nah, I don't like him. And so she's talking and she's like, I don't understand how you connect with somebody like that who disrespects his girl and all this, and y'all are friends. So she's like, I'm missing the connection here. Like, depending what you connect to him on, that could be a deal breaker for me, because he's a deal breaker for me. I don't like him at all. But if you connect with him on his disrespectful ways, then me and you are gonna have some problems. So she's basically worrying about what they connect on, because depending on what they connect on is gonna be what Agatha and Henna disconnects on. That was deep. That was real deep. And Henna is like, it takes a lot for me to cut somebody off, but once you're out of my life, you're out, blah blah blah. But I'm like, if everybody on this show, all the girls, are saying, why are you friends with him? Like, I really don't like him. Why are you still friends with him? Wouldn't that tell you something is wrong with this man to where he scared off all the women, except Karen, but almost all the women, and all of them are like, why are you even friends with him? Like, doesn't that ring a few bells, like set off some alarms in your head? Daniel tried to slip in that little comment when he was like, it's like a fairy tale, except for not getting laid. Like, no, I heard that, and that was one of my predictions, that he was gonna get increasingly like upset about it and bothered by it. And I wrote here that I figured it was only gonna get worse when they got in the apartment, but we'll get into that, because Danny is, that whole thing was just confusing. It was probably just something from the producers telling them to make it interesting, because the Danimals is an otherwise boring couple. Valmir is talking to somebody, and he's like, you can just tell how in love with Karen I am the way that I talk. And I'm just like, can we, Valmir? Can we? Can we really? And then he was talking in the confessional, thinking on his Disney villain type stuff, talking about some, oh, if it's a conflict, I'll put out the fire, or I'll let it burn. Like, boy, who do you think you are? You think you're a Disney villain. I need you to take it down a few notches and be for real. Agatha says she asks questions all the time, like, oh, would you rather be on your phone right now instead of me, because they had their phones taken away? And she just likes to be like, would you still love me if I was a worm? And then actually get mad when they say no. Or if they say yes, keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And like, for real, she gives me like anxious, insecure attachment vibes, because why are you asking if they would rather be on their phone than talking to you and ignoring you? Because she phrases it like that. So I'm like, it seems like she's asking these odd questions to try to get a reaction or to try to get reassurance. So that was my observation. She said she's 20% fear, 80% optimistic, but 100% sure it'll work out. I ain't no mathematician, but that math ain't adding up. They're finally out of wherever their honeymoon is, and they're back in the apartments. And I thought the apartments were really cute, because in the Love is Blind USA, they kind of had like, I don't know the official terms, but they kind of had like townhouse looking ones, but this one is more like high rise, and it kind of looks like a hotel. So I thought the apartments were really nice, really luxurious, even though the Danimals were sleeping on a mattress on the floor. But we'll get into that. They said it had more space. Karen tripping from the moment she walked in, talking some, don't put the wheels on the bed, don't put the wheels on the couch, or if you do that, I'll put a shoe on your pillow and we gonna see how you like it. And I was like, girl, you just walked in the door. Valmir doesn't know how to do laundry, and I feel like that explains a lot. Danny says that she has to observe Daniel over the next few weeks, which is reasonable. And the literal next scene is her saying, where's your ring? What? You lost your ring, didn't you? I told you not to take it off. Congratulations, you've lost your ring. Well, there's your observation. But the funniest thing was the fact that during the entire back and forth where he lost his ring, she was just smiling like, I told you not to take it off. Never take it off again. And I thought it was lost for good, but I guess he just left it somewhere, because he said he took it off to get in the shower. He was like, babe, I'm so sorry, it'll never happen again. I don't know. Next scene, he had the ring on, so I guess they figured it out. Agatha and Hannah are talking, and she's going through his phone, and she finds out that he was in a music video. And she looked at the music video, and you know, the music video was music videoing, and she was like getting jealous of the video. He was like in the confessional, oh, I used to date the girl who sang the song in the music video, so she asked me if I wanted to be in it. And she was like, you were kissing all these people? And he was like, no, it's fake kissing, it's just it's pretend. And she was like, pretend kissing? You really think I'm gonna believe that? And so I'm like, I kind of think it was weird that he didn't tell her that he dated her, because it was just like, I mean, why wouldn't you tell her? But the way she's getting mad about an old music video, I wouldn't be surprised if she got mad if it was the girl that he used to date singing in that video. So Idolu is following Karen on Instagram, and all I have to say is we better not have another Jackie and Josh situation, because I do not have the time to deal with it. Karen dated Varmil's, like one of Varmil's friend, and the thing is, she will say things so casually while Varmil will be like, and Idolu actually texted Karen, which was really when I was like, no, I don't need another Jackie Josh situation. And he was like, Ciao. And that's exactly how Varmil read it. But he was saying ciao because they're both Italian or whatever. And he was like, Ciao? What does that mean? Danny told Daniel that he's having too many sweets. And all that gave to me was mother-son vibes, because she went on and on and on for like 30 minutes straight. And even in the coming episodes about how he needs to eat better, how he eats too many sweets and blah, blah. And maybe it's just the way that she said he eats too many sweets that was like, it's giving mother-son. Basically, in this episode, everyone's meeting the family. This one I had to speed it up because it was really boring. Freud? One of them, whatever the name is, he would have a field day with this because Bianca looks just like Jarvis's mom and sister. Because they both have red hair. They look just alike. Bianca and Jarvis, Bianca's family approves. Minna and Maria meet Maria's dad, and he's a little apprehensive, but he supports her, and he's like, I approve, and like I feel like she's making the best decision for her, so I approve. Let me get into Maria's mom, because she is a walking red flag. She's like sitting next to Maria, like real close, like huddled up on her ear, like, oh, but you've only had 3 boyfriends. Like, how would you know like what a marriage is about? You've only had 3 serious relationships in your entire life. And she's like starting to list them, and Maria's like, okay, you don't have to like say their names. You don't have to list them out, blah, blah, blah. Like, Maria's mom is just a walking red flag to me. She immediately gives me like, oh, you look fat in that dress, here's an almond type mom. And she was like, oh, did you do your hair yourself, Maria? And she was like, yeah. And then her mom was like, oh, I can tell. So that's why it just gives me like those just toxic vibes that like I was not here for it. Her mom just, it wasn't giving. But Maria is very aware about this. She's like, yeah, we kind of have like a codependent relationship that's like thrives on validation because I'm an only child. And now that I'm not asking for her opinion and her approval, she's a little confused. She doesn't know what to do with herself. And like you can tell Maria was so uncomfortable because she moved over to where her dad was. She was like, oh, I miss my dad, I want to sit near him. And then like she was leaving, she was saying goodbye, and they go to the kitchen and she kissed her mom on the lips, which is that a Brazilian thing? Because I know a few people who do that here, but I didn't know. But anyways, and then she was leaving and her mom was like, my Maria wouldn't wear something like this that shows so much skin. This isn't you. And it's like the way she phrases it is like, this isn't you. Not that I don't approve of this for you, but this isn't who you are. Like, you know her better than she knows herself. I thought that was weird. And from the moment she walked in and was like, I always wanted a son, I just got a weird vibe immediately. Like, she has this idea of who Maria should be, but Maria, obviously, people are like ever changing, and so she's changing and growing up now that she's leaving the nest. And she's like, she's a homebody. She doesn't show her legs. She doesn't go out the house. She doesn't show cleavage. The Danimals do the nasty, which I don't really know what the difference between doing it on the honeymoon and doing it in the apartment was, because we saw it regardless. It was still on camera, but he's happy, she's happy, so whatever. And then they're arguing, because I don't even know what you would call this, but they're going back and forth about his sugar intake and her wanting to walk naked around the house. But they're both smiling, but they're like, you want to walk naked around the house, inconsiderate, and you are a pig and all you eat is sweets. And it's like, what are y'all even arguing about right now? And he's like, it's not fair that you're trying to control my diet because when you want to drink, I let you drink. And it's like, babes, you was about to have a blood vessel pop out your forehead last time she picked up a shot glass. Don't even lie. You are not okay when she drinks. Agatha is visiting Hana's bachelor pad, as they say, and he has a calendar, and in the corner it's like, Te amo, and she's like, oh, that's from an ex. Like, no, because how did you not notice that this whole time? You've had it there for 4 months since you've been broken up, and you didn't notice all this time that you had a little note from your ex. And so she's getting jealous, and I'm like, what if man's just wanted some self-love affirmations? Like, he can't, no? Episode 6 starts, and he's just sitting there in silence, and she's just sitting there in silence because he told her that he never noticed it, but she was just like, yeah, that's kind of weird. But the way that he was just sitting there in silence, smiling too, he was just like, it was funny to me because he was like, I don't know what to say, and she was like, well, since he's not saying nothing, I'm not gonna say nothing. And it was just really a lot, but she ended up forgiving him and they moved on. One thing that I observed about Karen is that she's just like, she's a bit much. Like, she walked into Varmil's apartment and she called it an F pad, and then she was like, yeah, we're getting rid of that couch, we're getting rid of that bed. He was like, okay, like, we can get rid of the couch, whatever, I wanted to get a new one anyway. But he was like, the bed? That's a conversation. Like, he wasn't even like, that's a non-negotiable, like, absolutely nice. Said, that's a conversation to be had. Like, she really just bosses this poor man around, but I can't say he don't deserve it. But she wanted to get rid of the couch and the bed because the couch, it was like some liquid stains on there, and she was like, this could be body fluids. I don't know what this is. We're getting rid of it. I don't know how many girls. I don't want to even think about how many girls you had in this bed. And the funny thing was, she was talking about the wrong stuff, because when he was opening up the dressers and the drawers, there was literally underwear and a jacket from a woman in there, and he was closing it so fast and she didn't even notice it. And she opened it back up, but she didn't like register what it was or understand. And I was hoping that she would notice it just for the drama in me, but she never even ended up noticing. And it's like, you was doing all that about a couch and a bed, and it was panties in this drawer. I feel like she's like a little insecure, which like that's fine, I guess, but like don't get into a relationship with Varmil if you're gonna be insecure. Come on now, that doesn't really make any sense. Am I the only one who doesn't see these similarities between these animals? Everyone's like, they're literally like the girl and boy version of each other. They're so similar, they're perfect together. And I'm like, they're just boring. Like, I don't understand. Like, they're just both boring. There's nothing about them that stands out to me. I feel like Hana is like very like submissive, and he understands like how to navigate relationships with certain people, because he was talking to his family. Like, he said that they would possibly get married, and Agatha, she didn't say anything because they were with his family, but she was like, excuse me. And he was like, if she says yes, I know I'm gonna say yes, but it's up to her. And he would say, like, he was really quick on his feet to think of that, because she was getting upset and he could feel the energy becoming tense in the room. And then you got Grandpa talking about how the experiment is a social evolution and this, that, and the third. But overall, everybody approves. Pretty much everyone's family approved. It was a very boring episode, but I sat through it for y'all. And I swear, like, I feel like every single season, is it just me or is there always a birthday party on one of these shows? Like in the last season of Love is Blind, they had a birthday party, and that's where all that happened with Jackie and Josh and Marshall. Like, there's always a birthday party, and at a birthday party is always some drama. I swear the producers have to make that a requirement. Make somebody's birthday be during the span of the show. Daniel is crying with his mom because he's like, I don't want to leave you. Like, I don't want to move. I want to be up here under your butt cheeks. Like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And she's like, Daniel, I'm so glad you finally about to get up out my freaking face. Like, I never thought this day would come. For the party, Agatha got a helmet. Agatha got a wig, and her name is Tiffany, and Tiffany is cool. Tiffany lives life on the edge. Tiffany don't need no part. Tiffany is just a little crazy. Then everyone's enjoying Daniel's birthday, and Homeboy is just glowing. He's like, the sex is great, it's amazing, it's perfect. And you can tell the difference between when he was saying that everything was perfect then and now, because he is literally smiling from ear to ear, glowing. Mena is very short, apparently. And everyone's joking about like how weird it would be if he was with anybody else but Maria, because they're like a similar height. And Karen is like, yeah, I'm like 2 minutes tall. And then Maria gets like jealous and mad about that. And it's like, girl, calm down. Like, I don't really understand what the problem was with that, because she got mad at Karen, but Mena and Agatha literally staged a whole like fake reveal. Like, they were like, Mena, because Agatha is really tall and Mena's really short, so they were like playing around. But Maria got mad at Karen for saying she's 2 minutes tall and she wouldn't be a good match with him. And then she was like, yeah, it's kind of beef with Karen and Valmir, because she said Valmir was checking her out. She was like, I know what it means when someone's checking me out. Like, I know what that's like, and he was definitely checking me out. Now I'm a little bit more distant with Karen and Valmir. And I was like, what did she do? It was actually really sad. Valmir's grandmother died, and as you know, that is all he talked about. Like, he was obsessed with her. He was always taking care of her. Like, in the pods, he was just talking about how much he loves her. And so I actually like really felt for him, because that must have been really, really hard to deal with. Maria meets Mena's daughter, and it was cute. They were like playing with lipstick, and she was drawing all over them, and they took a selfie with the three of them, and I thought that was really sweet. Bianca meets Jarvis's daughter, which, if you remember the setup that I told you, like, Jarvis and his ex were together while she was pregnant, but the baby daddy wasn't present in her life at all. So Jarvis kind of took on the role of father while she was pregnant, and they raised the child for 2 years. So he still considers that his kid, and like they have like a custody agreement. Well, not official custody agreement, but like an agreement where they go on the weekends. And the ex was really cool, really secure. She was like, yeah, I approve. She's better than me. I would have been jealous and insecure, but I'm pretty sure she moved on anyway. But it was really nice because they were sitting there just having girl talk, and she was like, yeah, like, I think he's a really good guy, like no bad blood. I think you guys are really cute together, and I'm really glad that you're trying to, you know, help out with my daughter and be in her life. So we're finally at the dress and suit shopping, and I might be a hater, but let me just say, the dresses on Love is Blind are always so basic. I won't even say that they're ugly. They're not ugly per se. They just don't give wedding dress. And I think it's because Love is Blind is providing them. I know for US, I don't know about Brazil, but I know that Love is Blind provides the dresses for the bridesmaids, but they be picking the most basic, ugly prom dress, homecoming looking white dress that looks like a table runner. And it's like, they be like, that's the one. That's it. That's the one. Yeah, first of all, I'm not dumb, because this whole Maria's mom crying for everyone, that's gotta be a setup, because we saw in the preview that Maria's mom didn't cry when she tried on the dress. Not to spoil or anything, but I was like, it's gotta be a setup. The way they were like, save some tears for Maria, do this, do that, why are you crying so much and everything. I was like, nah, that's a setup, because the producers must have put y'all up to that, because how are y'all talking this much about her crying? Don't get me wrong, it's weird to cry for all her friends, like they just met, why you crying for them, which I thought was sweet, but like nobody else was doing all that. Agatha put on a tablecloth, real cute, real simple. I think it's real cute, real simple, but let me say henna looks real good with the crisp forces. I low-key like the look, because I wouldn't imagine I would want somebody to wear forces to the wedding, but I can't lie, because they're not even dusty. Like, they look never worn. They look really, like, it looks really good. He got an all-white suit, so I think that would look nice. Karen got a laced-up looking prom dress. That's all I have to say about that. Daniel looks nice. He had, like, a gray suit, but something about it just gives more, like, business meeting-y than wedding-y. But it looks good. Jarvis looks nice. He has like a little blue suit, and I thought it was nice. I think I just like the color suits, because those really like stand out to me. But then Maria, I really liked her dress. She had like a Cinderella look going on. I didn't like all the designs, but I liked the concept of the like flowy dress at the bottom. And her mom was like, oh, what about the slit? What about the cleavage? Did not shed a tear. And she was like, I just want you to be comfortable. Like, girl, no, you want to be comfortable. The slit and the cleavage is making you uncomfortable, because she loved the dress. She didn't shed a tear. She didn't even say she liked the dress. She just said if she wants it, then she can get it. And I like understand Maria's frustrations with that, because she cried for every single one of the other brides. She was like, I'm just so happy. You guys look so happy, and I'm so glad you get to experience this. But for Maria, she was like, so anyways, next, Mano looks nice. He has like a little dark green, because he's a, I don't know the name, but there's some team, I think it might be soccer. There's like some team they like to watch the games, so he got a dark green suit. And like I said, I think I just like the colored suits better, and I think also I just like the flowy dresses better. That's just my personal style, I guess, because I think I like the tulle look and the colored look for suits. So color for suits, tulle for wedding dresses, because Bianca got like a tulle flowy wedding dress, and I really liked hers, because it just gives me Cinderella vibes. She looked really, really good. I can't remember what color Varmil got, but I think I liked it because it was colored, so it looked good on him. I just can't remember what color it was. It might have been blue. Bianca and Jarvis get home after wedding dress shopping, and they start fighting, because she's like, oh, like, you're drunk, and he's like, yeah, I was celebrating, and she's like, but I wanted to get home and talk to you and get to celebrate with you when you're sitting here drunk. I can't even do that, because you're not even gonna remember this in the morning. And he's like, you know what, you're messy. And she's like, yeah, I know, you're messy too. One of us gotta be less messy. And he's like, why are you hiding your messiness from me? So they were like fighting, but I don't even know what they were fighting about, but they were both really, well, she was very upset, and I'm like, what are you even fighting about? Like, he was like basically saying that you're hiding your true messiness from me because I'm messy, and I know you're messy too, because you were saying all that in the pods, but you're not being messy here. And she was like, yeah, I gotta clean up after you, because if we were both really messy, we would be living in a pigsty. And it was funny though, because when she was like, I wanted to talk to you and you're not even gonna remember this, he's sitting there pouring another drink. So she's literally sitting here saying, I can't talk to you when you're drunk like this, and he's like, it was so funny. Like, at the end of that argument, she was like, yeah, I thought I knew him, I thought I liked him, but if he's like this, I guess I don't. And I was like, dang, I'm getting whiplash. I don't even know what happened to begin with, and you already saying you don't really mess with him like that. Finally, on episode 8, Maria brings up her mom and the drama and whatnot to Mena, and he literally rolls his eyes. And that's me. That's me right now, because girl, your mom hates you. Her mom is like, I didn't raise you like that. I don't even know who you are anymore. And she blocks her on WhatsApp. Her mom blocked her. That is ridiculous. You are a grown woman. What are you doing? I feel like she has an idea in her head of who Maria is and what Maria should be, because Maria was a people pleaser. So she tried to make herself mold into what her mom would approve of. And so that's the idea of Maria that her mom has in her head. But when Maria's growing up and changing that, like changing herself up and not molding into that expectation, her mom is very surprised, very confused, and she doesn't understand why she's doing that. And she's like, this isn't you. Agatha basically meets all of Hannah's friends, and she's better than me because she was like, I don't mind him having a lot of like female friends. You guys seem like a good group. I feel like it makes him more sensitive and gentle. So thank you, honestly. And she better than me because that's a really nice way to look at it, honestly. Hannah's friends are basically like, yeah, like please don't take him away from us because he always ghosts us and like isolates himself whenever he gets a girlfriend. And I feel like Hannah is very submissive, like a pushover, when he does that, it's because he is like being kind of like manipulated, because he was like, I've been in a lot of abusive situations, and you know, like when you're in an abusive situation, they kind of cut you off from all your friends and family, and when you do that, you don't really have anybody to turn to. The Danimals are doing good. He's making sure her brain doesn't rot by teaching her chess, and she's making sure his teeth don't rot by making him not eat sweets. Maria and her mom went out to lunch, which I don't know how she did that, if she was just blocks, but okay. Her mom is finally opening up. She's like, you know, like I just feel like I'm getting that empty nest syndrome, like I miss you being there and I feel like I'm losing you. And she's like, you're not losing me, you're just losing the idea of me that you had. You're not gonna be able to control me anymore. And she's like, nah, that's not it. It's just the emptiness. Ain't nobody worried about that, girl. I just missed you, that's all. And she's like, yeah, but I'm just moving away. You're not losing me. I'm adding to our family. And then Maria's like, can I have a hug? And the moms start beefing again because she's like, why do you even have to ask? Since when have you had to ask? Like, and Maria's like, I don't want to do this. And she's like, then why did you ask for a hug? And then she's like, just give me a hug, okay? Because it's never that serious. Karen meets Valmira's friends, and Kelly is on her. Kelly is the other blonde in the friend group, and she's like asking her a bunch of questions, and she's pressing Karen, and it's like, girl, do you want to bite me? Like, what are you asking so many questions for? And in the end, they ended up approving her, and they were like, we obviously support Valmira and whatever, but now that you're here, like, we support you too, because as a woman, like woman to woman, we do support you. Agatha and Hannah are cooking, and she brings up a very important point, to be honest. He said that it made her uncomfortable and it killed the vibe, but she was like, are you going to end up opening up to me? Like in a marriage, like I want you to feel safe with me. She started the question off a little weird, so I can see how he was apprehensive. She said, do you trust me? But really what she was getting at was, you don't open up to me and I don't understand why. And I think in a marriage, that's good for you to want to open up to me. And he was like, I'm a man of my word. I promise that I'll open up to you. I just need you to trust me because I've never lied to you. And that's honestly a lot of trust that goes into that, because you are expecting that they will go against what is like in their brain, like nature, like what is natural for them, which is to just be closed off, and they will open up to you. And that's a lot of trust going into a marriage, I'm gonna be honest. They go to a Secret Santa that Bianca threw, that was like a Secret Santa but bridal version, which was really cute. Everyone was getting gifts that kind of suited them in the partnership. There was a fondue, vegetable cutters, wine glasses, and it was just really, really nice. I liked seeing it. But of course, you know, we can't have an event without drama, so let's just explain everything that went down. Here they go with this howling, because they're going to get on my nerves, because Agatha was howling like a wolf, and then Hannah was like, I got her to howl, blah, 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 I can go home now, I did it. And then Bianca's like, oh, I can do it too. And then she's like, oh, and it's like, wrap it up, go home, I'm done watching. That was when I wanted to click out, because every single time they get to howling, I want to exit out the show so bad, so freaking bad, but I do it for y'all. Then they start playing Truth or Dare, and I just know that the producers put y'all up to this because everybody didn't look like they wanted to do it. And Maria was like, hadn't worked in the 50s, it's not gonna work now. Stop playing Truth or Dare, it don't work. And I don't know what she means by don't work, because if you mean that it ends up in some mess, then yeah, because that seems like the point, so I would say it does work. Hannah asks, is there anything or anyone in this setting that gets stuck in your throat? And I'm like, what do you mean by that? But everybody apparently knew what he meant, because I thought he was talking about something else. But Daniel's like, yeah, there is something that I want to get off my chest. And he tells Daniela that he loves her. And that was cute. They did it in front of everybody. They was hugging, they was kissing, they both said I love you and whatever. Maria got asked, is there anybody in the experiment that really pushes your buttons? And she's like, yeah, Valmir. And then she explains that it's because when she was letting him down and saying, I picked Menandro, he was in the pods yelling and screaming, saying, rumors are bad, rumors are this, rumors get you messed up and effed over and whatever. And he was like, yeah, I understand, like, I'm sorry, I didn't really know that it came off that way. But like I say, like, I'm really grateful for you because you are a really important part of me and Karen's story, and I'm really happy. And Karen was like, you know, it's Maria's turn to talk, not yours, right? Okay. And he was just sitting there like, honestly, I feel like Karen kind of holds the power in that relationship, wears the pants, if you will, because the way she just be shutting him up and everyone's just like feels the awkward tension and he just stops talking and it's just so awkward. I like that she's not Delulu, because some girls be like, that's my man, my man, my man, I'm gonna stick beside him, you need to be quiet, and they be going for the girls. He was honestly hyping you up, so I don't know why you get mad, because you was the one who said that you were the first leftover and he be defending you, so why are you upset? Like, she said that he was defending himself and blah blah. He really wasn't, but he just sat there and took it. And it was sad because he was just like, the question was, is there anybody who they would say their partner is deceptive? And Karen was like, I'll say, hey, I'm a deceptive. I'm a Pisces. I know I'm deceptive. And she literally sits there and starts listing out examples of how she's deceptive. She's like, yeah, so if he's like, how many people did you sleep with before the experiment? I'll go to the bathroom, or I'll wait for him to change the subject, or blah, blah. And it's like, he's sitting right there, like, he hears you. And the thing is, Valmir didn't say a word. Like, I'm convinced that he is the victim in the relationship with Karen. And then when Karen is like talking about all that, Maria's like, I think I'll pick a fight with Menandro right now. And she literally says that in the confessional. She's like, yeah, I think I'll pick a fight, because why not? She's like, Menandro's deceptive. Menandro got followed by Barbara, who was one of the other contestants. He's really deceptive. He be doing this, 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 and that. And it's like, everyone's like, girl, stop. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, what? I'm not deceptive. And she's literally sitting there with everyone just going in on him just because she said, why not? What shackles do the producers have you in? Because no way you just casually was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna rough him up a little bit. Menandro was so passive, honestly. He's like, I couldn't wait to talk to her. This is a lot more energy than he gave. He was more like, I couldn't wait to talk to her after the party, because what the heck? Like, he gives me like, with the Fuik vibes, that's what Menandro gives to me, because even when he's super angry, he's still so passive about it. And Bianca just laying everybody out saying who texted who. She said Idolu texted this person, Barbara texted this person, her man was getting a text from somebody, Anne Marie texted Hana. She was just laying it all out there for everybody to know. She was like, see? Now everybody knows everything. And I'm like, well, the producers, they didn't tell me that. But that's when I was like, okay, everybody must be drunk. Like, the producers got y'all in a chokehold, or y'all just really, really drunk right now? Because either way, this is a mess. And I was like, everybody must be drunk, because Marie was pressing Karen like, yeah, I was talking bad about you because you were like, you would be such a good match with Mena, and that made me uncomfortable. And she was like, what are you talking about? I never said that. And she's like, no, you did. No, you did. You definitely did, because you were like X, Y, and Z. And she's like, no, we were all making a joke. I said I wouldn't be a match with him, because she was like, he's like 4'11", girl. What are you talking about? Nobody wants your man. And she's like, no, because you did say that. And she's like, no, if anything, we said Agatha would be a funny match with him because she's so tall and he's so short. And then in the confessional, Karen was like, I feel like she's not a bad person, but she makes things bigger than they actually are. Danny also said that she just keeps talking and doesn't really hear anybody else or hear even herself. She gets lost in her own talking that she doesn't even know what's going on. And then Maria and Menandro get back home, and obviously he said he was going to talk to her about this comment, and so he brings it up. And then she starts beefing because she's like, oh, but that girl followed you. Why did you follow her back? And he's like, because I followed everyone from the cast. And she's like, yeah, but why her? Like, if you don't know her, why did you follow her? And he was like, do you want me to unfollow her? And she's like, no, it's just why. And then he's like, I don't know what to tell you. And she says in the confessional, you know, people have lied to me before. So I feel like she just has that kind of trauma, and like, just PTSD, I guess, and she's bringing that into the new relationship because Menandro didn't do anything wrong, and when he was trying to find a solution, she just wanted to keep complaining. She didn't want to find a solution. She just wanted to be angry. And then when he was like, you know what, like, what are you asking from me? What do you want from me? She was like, whoa, calm down. This is not an argument. Why are you getting so angry? But yeah, that was the end of the episode. And I usually don't do this, but I want to talk about that recap because let me say one thing's for sure and two things for certain. You should not be having strippers at your bachelor party. In Love is Blind US, the girls always went to a strip club, which I thought was weird and a double standard. But the boys would be at a rodeo. They would be freaking at a farm. Like, they was not playing with that. They did not go to see no strippers. But here I heard Hannah say in the preview that there's gonna be a lot of women at their bachelor party and they're not talking about their fiancés. Excuse me? If that was me, absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. Because one thing about me, I don't think that's right. I don't think that you should have strippers at your bachelor party. Like, it's your last night being single. But that's cheating. That's literally cheating. Like, and I don't know if the women had strippers. I know that the men were talking about some strippers, though. So that might be an episode that I'm actually willing to see. Especially since it's going to be episode 9 and 10, which is the finale. I'm very excited to see how that turns out and what ends up happening. That's all I have for you today, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Love, Sanaa.